Good evening. I'm Glenda Carlin. Now on Facebook, I'm under Glenda Carlin Busick, B-U-S-I-C-K. But my husband passed about 6-7 years ago, and my YouTube channel, it's Glenda Carlin, A Course in Miracles YouTube. So if you don't come here in the live talk, just go to my YouTube channel. And if you want to private message me on Facebook, you can private message your phone number or email address. I'll add you to my email list, or ask questions. We're a support group. We help each other here. No charge. I don't charge anything for this. It's all free. It's all just us together on the path. The path, some people say. Hello there, Edward. So welcome, Holy Son of God, Nance. Holy Son of God, Barbie. Holy Son of God, Alvaro. Holy Son of God, Lynn. Holy Son of God, Angela. Holy Son of God, Edward. Holy Son of God, Debbie. Holy Son of God, Leon. Holy Son of God, Gabby. Holy Son of God, Glenda. And of course, I invite in Jesus. And I always, when I say his name, I have a picture of Glenda Green painted. So I kind of picture what she thinks he looks like. Doesn't matter, but anyway, you just whatever in the form, and he's spirit, but then Buddha, there's a picture of Buddha, and Holy Spirit, just spirit. Enlightened beings are people just like us, as awakened from the dream. I invite all of them in. Help me, guide me what to do or say. Help everyone here to have insights and revelations, and let this sit and be in their unconscious mind and surface as they need it to contemplate and integrate into their life. I truly mean this. I truly mean this. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The topic of my conversation tonight, I got to watch the board here for people I need to let in if there's anybody else, is to learn to love, to learn to open is one of the hardest things of all for us. But if we can do this, comes freedom from running from the fear of heartbreak, lifetime after lifetime. This could be one of the most powerful learnings that's coming to me, and that I may ever try to talk about, and it'll only get deeper. Because as I explained to you, I say to Holy Spirit, I'm open, 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 relaxed, and surrendered to the deepening of all of this, and to the deeper understanding. And how can I better understand it in order to teach it, talk about it, to help my brothers wake up from the dream? Because that's the deal, to help us wake up from the dream and help me deepen in my awakening process. Because like Angela said, then as we awaken, this light and love that we are shines forth, touches all of humanity, all sentient beings, seen and unseen, human and otherwise, through all dimensions of time and space. Each of us have no idea the magnitude of what your awakening is doing to help humanity. And we're not manipulating or changing things. We're actually just letting the light and love from us radiate out. But yet we're guided what to do or say. We might want to give money to some issue, pray for peace, guide to help in whatever way we are, help our loved ones, etc. We're not bumps on logs or wooden Buddhists. There's three main vital points as I look at what the whole Course in Miracles is. First one is, see, this is a combination with Dzogchen Buddhism, is Jesus and Buddha are trying to get us to see things as they are. That's called the view or outlook. Well, it ain't what it looks like. And is it nothing more? Because really, so where the view is for us to discover how it is, the nature and working of the mind, the egoic mind, the ability to lean back, let go, let it all go, Jesus says, lean back, let go, and let that light, clear light, come through us and let us lean back and just feel love sometime, loving feelings, loving kindness, see things as they are. The second thing is called meditation, which Jesus is an integral thing of the Course and Dzogchen. And meditation is letting go, learning to let things come and go and be just as they are without wanting to manipulate them, change them. So it's a fine line. You pray for peace, but we're not out there manipulating. We see that it's spirit animates all the forms, and the forms are just using spirit, the creative living, their living God mind to do various things. That's all that's happening. They're each, the living mind, the living God, the living clear light, which is love, is constantly, spontaneously manifesting forms. But when it manifests forms, it also animates them with light and love. But the forms have forgotten that they're light and love, because we are really God's spirit experiencing being in a human form. And in experiencing the human form, we have the six senses, which is thinking is the sixth sense, hearing, seeing, smelling, tasting, touching. All those senses end up awakening. They awaken, and we embody them at this. We transcend egoic senses to become Christ Buddha senses. We embody them, and we use these senses to help our brothers awaken from the dream. But meantime, the biggest damn deal is to remember your spirit, God, animating that form, experiencing these feelings. And that's why the topic, before I forget, the third vital point is action, or let's see, action or outcome. And that is enjoying and appreciating all of it. So even though these forms are not real, they're dream images, we are enjoying and experiencing all of it while knowing we're spirit. It is a dance that you end up integrating the form world, not discarding the form world, with the light God world. That means form and emptiness are not separate. They're one, they're in union, like God, Jesus says in the Course, you're become aware of perfect oneness. Well, what the hell does that mean? Oneness with all forms means you're not separate from any of these forms you see on this screen. The forms are animated by the God light, and they radiate light and love. So forms and emptiness, meaning this vast spirit light world, are not separate. That means it's the new earth. As you awaken, this is a new earth, because samsara and hell are not separate, because forms are hell and light and God is heaven, but they're not separate. That's what you awaken to. We're integrating them, and you learn to integrate them by doing these lessons and practicing daily these lessons. And you come to these realizations and insights. But anyway, but the biggest one is the view. How is everything? What is happening here? Is you are this God spirit animating this form, experiencing these feelings. But we don't remember that. We're asleep. We've been asleep. And our light and love spirit is veiled by the thoughts of self-concepts, the existence in world forms, judgments, addictions, habits, obscurations. So we think we're a body. We think we're a body here, not that we're God experiencing the body. So then what happens? There's habits we develop and addictions. And due to this being asleep, the main addiction is love. The whole Course of Miracles is wanting us to wake up to our true identity, which is not just spirit, but it's love. You are love, the clear love light, I call it. The light of God, the spirit of God, is soaked in love. And that's what you are. But we don't remember that. So as a result, the unconscious mind, this is how it is. You got to remember how it is. You're awakening to how it is. So we're thinking we're a body, and the unconscious mind is unconscious. We don't know these things are, these thoughts are in the unconscious mind until they kind of surface in the conscious mind. And you have thoughts and feelings, and the thought comes up, well, I'd sure like a partner, a loving companion, somebody to be with. Now, some of y'all got spouses or loved ones or companions, or you got children or pets. And all these items we consciously are loving to fill this emptiness that's here because we think we're separate from God. So we don't feel his love animating our form. So we fill it with mortal love. And I'm no different than you guys. But we're waking up. You know, you got your parents, like Nancy, take care of her dad. So what happens when one of these forms die, or a pet dies, or you're a companion you want to be with, or you decide this is not working, I'm stopping. Well, what's going to happen is one of these senses, heartbreak's going to happen. But I look back on my life is I was not strong enough to look at that. That's fear. When it's not love, the opposite of love is fear, but what's all encompassing, Jesus teaches this, can have no opposite. But heck, that's the separation, fear. And like God, Jesus says in the Course, the biggest fear we got is a fear of God, which you're going to get. We're not going to discuss that right now, but anyway. So heartbreak. So that's why my topic is to learn to love, to learn to open. To open is one of the hardest things of all for us. But if we can do this, comes freedom from running from the fear of heartbreak, from lifetime after lifetime. So this addiction to mortal love is so deep, guys, like an iceberg, because it's not just this lifetime that we've had loved ones and family members and relatives or friends and all that stuff where things fall apart and our heart's broken. Those heartbreaks represent heartbreaks you've had in all your lifetimes. That's why they're so deep and that you feel them. But we want to lean back. This is what I did. It finally dawned on me. This is before I really read a post that Lama Surya Das did, because I didn't really know what was going on. I just realized I keep opening to letting things come and go. It's huge that when we meditate, we learn to stay centered in the light and become aware when our attention wanders with these thoughts and agrees with them. Whose thoughts are these? Whose feelings are these? But I go off and agree with them. So then we're God experiencing being in a body, but we're asleep. So we have these feelings. So we have, let's just say, I have a relationship that I realize, hold it, this is not going like I thought it ought to go. I'm stopping. And with that came heartbreak. But before I knew it, because I've been open and open and open to my feelings more and more and more and more, it led to the point that I allow myself to feel heartbreak. And to tell you the truth, I've never allowed it before, because I sense and see that it takes a courageous, strong, we're strengthening ourselves by practicing the Course in Dzogchen and whatever else you practice. You're strengthening your mind and heart. You can do this. You become a strong Christ with you end up with a raw, open, pure heart. If you let go, let be, feel these feelings. And when I'm not talking suicide and crazy ass stuff here, I'm just saying, if you feel those feelings, you call for help. So there's support groups online, there's numbers to call. You seek help because you want to stay in this particular lifetime and keep opening and unfolding to your true identity, or you wouldn't be hearing something like I'm talking about. You can do this. We all can do this. We just call upon the Holy Spirit, Jesus, Buddha, and light beings, help us, help us. So as I recognized I was going to let go, I had said, Holy Spirit, help me. And then I just let go. And I just started crying. I never allowed myself to cry. We repress these feelings and deny them, and they get stuffed. Now, and that's just a fact of life. So I did this. I forget if that's like the 9th. And then it came to me. See, I'm kind of, there's a whole email where I wrote all about this. What happened is, then I turned to YouTube and was listening to a meditation that a monk was doing called Atman Tubin, A-N-A-M Tubin. I kind of discussed this with my Dzogchen LA daily meditation group the other day. But he was meditating via YouTube, and I was sitting there. I was meditating with him and listening. I was present in the now with what he was saying. My mind wasn't wandering off. And then he started talking about collective karma. And I've talked about in the karma's cause and effect. With cause and effect, there's an action, there's a boomerang. We'll get a result. It's result and consequences. This isn't going anywhere else but back to us. But it's not just your individual karma, collective karma. So this monk, enlightened monk, I believe, was talking about a collective karma for the United States. And he brought up about how the United States was founded on violence. With the Native Americans, we took the land from them, and there's this big ass war, violence. Well, what happens, that's stored in the collective unconscious. There's only one mind, and there's only one unconscious mind, but it's stored there. And so what he did, he brought it up, and then he stopped and he started softly breathing in and out, and you could hear him just breathe. And I joined with his breath, breathing, same with him, in and out. And in my mind, I had my eyes closed. In my mind, I'm going to try to be fast. I just saw this. It was like a light tan surface. If you looked at it like a ball, but just the edge of the ball, it was a light tan surface. And I knew that above the ball was space. But it was meant to be the United States land. I took that to what it was. And all of a sudden, the great ray that I talked to you all about, the cord of light, that light started coming in the top of my head in waves, vertical waves. You know how the ocean goes horizontally and the waves go out and in, out and in? Well, these were vertical waves that were the width of my body, were coming in and out vertically. And I knew what those waves of light, I had leaned back, was just allowing the enlightened beings, this is their light and my light were coming in. We're washing that tan surface, which represented the USA land. And I just let it happen. It just went on. I don't even know for how long. It didn't matter to me. And then I'm just watching, see where the awareness, where will be happening, become an awakened awareness. That means you're aware of what the hell's going on in the now. The mind's not wandering away. And I was aware, yeah, that light, oh my, that light is me and everyone. That's the God light. That's God light. But I also knew enough that it was love, was washing and cleaning the USA land. Just like you can think about ocean waves. If you let that water just wash through you, and it'll wash judgments, entanglements, addictions, and habits, and loosen them. But anyway, I digress. So the thing was, I'm watching that, feeling that, those waves. And all of a sudden, the waves start going through my heart. I am not sure, kidding you. Vertical waves of light were washing my heart. I knew what they were doing. They were washing my heart. Because, see, I have the karma from that collective karma and my own karma. So it's washing my heart. Then it goes and starts washing my head. I'm not kidding you. Waves are going up, in and out of my head. And I saw that Buddhism talks about lotus flowers were buds, opening buds, these petals open to the light. I sensed that my heart was opening. See, what happens is, I've talked about to you before about the heart opens, the mind awakens. This keeps getting deeper, 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 deeper. So I saw that my heart was opening, and I could even see like these little petals. It was like opening to the light. Picture a flower, a bud to a flower. It's opening to the light, the light. That's what your heart does, opens to the light of God, the spirit that you are. But then my mind, the top of my head opened up, and there was a lotus there, bud. And it unfolded. And then I'm going to try to be fast. The vision was there was a root, this straight root came through me into the ground, because a lotus needs mud, grows out of mud. And I damn well knew what that meant. See, mud or hell is the physical world, the dirt, the messiness, the ego. Out of hell comes samsara, comes growth, comes the opening, the transcendence, the transformation where you unveil to your natural self. But see what happened, because I opened to my heartbreak, I didn't repress it anymore. I then also said out loud to that relationship and all my family members, they were spirit, I love you, I love you. I'm responsible, I would say this, I'm responsible for my own karma. My happiness and suffering depends entirely on me. It's my choice to suffer and have heartbreak or not. That's Course in Miracles. It's all our choice. But first we got to be aware of that we're doing this shit. And then we let go, let be, call the light in, and let be, and ask for help. But anyway, I was opening to these feelings. I wasn't afraid of them anymore. And then I saw this post that Lama Surya Das did, that where these two enlightened women, and I forget their name, bless their hearts, these are enlightened women. Pina was one of them, and then let's see, page 2. I want to get their names on the record here. Another one is be on page 3. Could be on page 3. I want their names in here. I can't find it. Because women, you know, all these men get all these iconoclads for being awakened. But women do it. Women are awakening just like you guys. That's just like we are. Well, I'll find it on this page. There's 2 of them. But here's the quote. Regarding fear, this is them talking to us. My best advice is not to be afraid of the fear. Now, see, that's the whole Course in Miracles. The opposite of love is fear, but what is all-encompassing can have no opposite. But we damn believe in fear. But fear is the whole big ball of wax. We don't label heartbreak as fear, but yeah, we're afraid of heartbreak, so we shut down. We don't let go. See, the whole awakening process, when you integrate form and emptiness, is you're letting all these feelings come and go, all these images come and go, while you remember your spirit and their spirit. But anyway, my best advice is not to be afraid of the fear. So rather than that, when these inner fears, anxieties, and paranoia come, what we need to do is to allow them to arise and come to terms that this is fear, and then welcome it. Give it some love and ask it to speak and listen. What is this fear? Where is it coming from? What is it trying to tell me? Because normally when fear comes, we resist it. We push it down, or we try to distract ourselves with other things and keep at bay as if it was an enemy. So here we're trying to make friends with it. We're letting it be, folks. We're not naming it, good or bad. We're letting it come and go. But I want to come back here to this talk because what I want to get at is we've been doing temporary fixes, lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, to fill this emptiness or feeling of separateness from God, where we don't feel whole, WHOLE, pure, innocent, and complete, pure. So we fill it with mortal love instead of leaning back, recognizing that we feel deficient. And that's the path of awakening, is becoming aware of what thoughts we're having and what desires we want. I want this, or I don't want that. And then, like those wise women said, ask, what's this trying to tell me? Where's this coming from? What is this fear? And then I started asking, I want to incorporate in, because they said that. I started telling Holy Spirit, Jesus, Buddha, and the enlightened beings, I'm not kidding you. I tell them, I pray to them, I want to wake up 24/7. I tell them, I say that, help me. I want to wake up 24/7. And then when I say that, then that means I got a responsibility to be aware of what the heck I'm thinking. So I'm just going to read some things because I wrote them in spirit. And then I would stop when I'm out walking or in my house. I'll stop and say, am I awake? Now, what the hell does that mean? Awake means, am I aware of what the hell I'm doing right now while I'm doing it? And then am I aware that I'm spirit, God spirit, animating the form, doing this, whatever I'm doing? And am I thinking of that me and whomever as spirit? Now, that's a bunch of steps in there, but that's what you want to get to. And I ask myself this, am I aware of the clear light? Because see, then I stop and I go looking. Yeah, there's the clear light of God, because I'm asking myself, am I aware of the divine love that fills my entire form? All my cells, my organs, including my heart and mind. Because since this download of these vertical waves of light, that's what's happening. And as I lay back in my bed or in my chair, I lean back, and in meditate, you breathe in and out. You lean back and you'll be with that movement. The light, the great ray light, is coming in and out, following that breath. So if you don't feel it, just imagine it. It's there. Then imagine that the waves are vertical. They're as wide as your body. They're moving left to right, back and forth, washing you like like a car windshield. Picture a vertical windshield wiper. A vertical windshield wiper is going back and forth the whole width and length of the windshield. Back and forth, vertical waves of clear light. And what's that doing is cleansing, cleaning, washing your mind and heart free of judgments, because you've opened to it, and that Holy Spirit will help you. And so when I lay there in bed or in my chair, then I feel this light and I go, oh, I just snuggle down in the light. And I recognize, I feel it going into all the cells. I let it be, I let it go. Soften to it, open to it, rest in it, because that's the other thing the whole Course in Miracles says, is to rest. Learn to rest. He doesn't put it in all the three words together, but rest is in that last chapter 31. You're resting in this clear light. You're resting your weary heart and mind, because your heart's been tortured and broke lifetime after lifetime, hundreds and thousands of times. And you can let it go to be cleansed if you don't repress these thoughts. Okay, you get the deal. So let's see. I want to do a quote from a Buddhist person named Chogyam Trungpan Rinpoche. And that is on page, oh dear. See, I took their links out of my text because when I posted on Facebook, I didn't want all those links in there. Let's see where this, the raw heart. That's what I want to read. I want to read the raw heart. All right, page 6. Where's the raw heart? Ooh. Oh, here it is. Had it right here. When you awaken, see, that's it. We're awakening. This is the path of awakening. That's it. You're awakening to your true nature, your pure Christ, Buddha, God heart and mind, the mind that knows, sees how all this puzzle works together and what you are, what your brothers are, and what God is. But here's a quote. When you awaken your heart, you find to your surprise that your heart is empty. Now, we're not talking the empty that needs to be filled. We're talking about fullness. You find that you're looking into outer space. See, that's the other thing that Dzogchen Buddhism talks, and Jesus talks about clear light. But it's like your mind is as vast as the sky, is pure, clear spaciousness, vastness. But anyway, you'll find you're looking into outer space. What are you? Who are you? Where is your heart? If you really look, you won't find anything tangible or solid. If you search for the awakened heart, if you put your hand through your rib cage and feel for it, there's nothing there but tenderness. You feel sore and soft, and if you open your eyes to the rest of the world, you feel tremendous sadness. Now, that's because you then see the world's ignorant about what's going on, that the God mind, luminous, clear light of God, is creating and making all these forms, all these images, but at the same time, it animates them. It animates them with spirit and light. You know this. The world doesn't know this. They think everything's hunky-dory, that they're a body. But that's why you have tenderness for them, and why, like, you then want to help them awaken by thinking of them as spirit. That's advanced forgiveness, as this clear light of God, as love, pure love. You feel sore and soft, and if you open your eyes to the rest of the world, you feel tremendous sadness. This sadness doesn't come from being mistreated. You don't feel sad because someone has insulted you or because you feel impoverished. Rather, this experience of sadness is unconditioned. Unconditioned means it's pure. In this world, what's happened, we're having an internal life of conditioned habits, culture and habits, that you're a body, you're a woman, you're a man, this is your role, this is what we're going to do. You go and find a partner, and now you can always have a partner and a wife, spouse, companions, and loved ones, but we're just not hanging on to them, clinging to them, pushing them away. We know what that's this whole talk is. We know their spirit. We know their spirit while we still love them, but we also know that they could pass in the mortal world. Because everybody could think, oh, this is hunky-dory, I don't have any problems. Well, wait till the next moment. If your spouse passes, or there's a big accident and the spouse leaves, or a person dies, or whatever goes on, that's the impermanence of the world. So you will feel your feelings, and you'll feel grief. You're not going to repress this. You're going to feel grief. You're going to feel your animal passes, your animal gets sick, all these things, whatever the deal is. But you're living not in this conditioned habit, addictive state, addicted to love, mortal love, mortal love. I'm talking unconditional love, where we're not manipulating people, wanting things to be different and change it. Now, it doesn't mean you're a doormat psychologically or physically. You can sit, talk to people and set boundaries and things like that. But you're really, really concentrating on later their spirit, their love, while you do these conversations. But here's the rest of what this person says. Let's see. It occurs because this unconditioned, this sadness is unconditioned, occurs because your heart is completely open, exposed. It is the pure, raw heart. Even if a mosquito lands on it, you feel so touched. It is this tender heart of a warrior that has the power to heal the world. See, that's A Course in Miracles. You're the light of the world. You have the ability to heal the world. How do you think of the world? How do you think, like, do you put Putin and the Chinese leader and the North Korea leader and our politicians in your prayers? Yes, please do. Please do. And all war zones. Because I'm going to read that again. It is this tender heart of a warrior that has the power to heal the world. That's what's happening as you practice the Course in Miracles and Dzogchen Buddhism and these other truths. You're opening, your heart and mind are opening as a bud, as a flower, to the light that you are. You're welcoming the light in and letting the light in. The light, to feel that the light infuses you. You're immersed in it. You're not separate from it. It's like being in the water, but letting water run right straight through you. That's how I want you to visualize all this. That is the reality of your real reality. You're unveiling your true nature, but it's going to have ups and downs. Because the other thing I thought when I was awakening years ago, before I found Dzogchen Buddhism, where that Lama Surya Das goes, if you think the ego is going to stop talking, you're wrong. If you think suffering's going to stop, you're wrong. What stops is you're reacting to it and believing that it's true. You catch yourself real quick. Now, I'd still don't step out in front of a car, go to see my doctor, take my vitamins, whatever you're wanting to do. You keep these battered vehicles going as you experience the light and love that you are. But in this experience of God and your God animating a form, feeling the six senses, you're going to have ups and downs. And a broken heart again. And there'll be another broken heart, another one. But you just keep staying open. You don't shut down. That's all. That's the big, here's this woman's name. Jetsunma, Tenzin, Tenzin, Palmo. And the other one is Pena, Pena something. Two enlightened women. Okay, here's a great one. Here's another post, another great quote. I want you to recognize it's called conditioning. That we've allowed ourselves to be controlled by our internal conditioning. That means habits. We do the same thing. We get up in the morning or think the same thoughts about people. Addictions, we're addicted to certain behaviors. And people used to think only addictions are like to food, alcohol, drugs, sex. I'm wanting to explain tonight, we're addicted to mortal love. We're addicted to that, trying to fill our hearts with anything but stepping back and saying to Holy Spirit, help me open to the unconditional love that I am, the loved light that I am. But here's a post that I read in the 16th, because see, I continue every day to read things, meditate, practice, copy things onto pieces of paper. See, I got pieces of paper. I write quotes from the Course in Dzogchen. I fold them, carry them in my pocket when I walk. I sit them by my chair. This is a spiritual journey that you're retraining the mind. That's what Jesus says in the Course. This is a course in mind training. So what are you training your mind to do? Or are you untraining it because off of this conditioned living that we've had? Here's the quote. Controlled by our internal conditioning, we're sometimes held hostage by our cravings, aversions, and ignorance. It's sometimes helpful to ask, what am I doing that's not working? If you cling to nothing, you can handle anything. This came from that Lama Surya Das. Now, see what I love about Dzogchen and what he teaches, he brings the Course together in some few sentences, and I go, whoa. That's why Jesus has you sit with in meditation, watch these thoughts, let them stream and come and go, and don't deny any thought. Bring them all in, look at them all. And he's not wanting you to deny things like I'm talking about here tonight. But here's the thing. If you think about this culture, your childhood, the American dream, the USA land where we killed the Indians and then blah, 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 all the other stuff that happened, that's karma. That's violent karma. That's in the unconscious mind. That's a conditioning. That's conditioning for knee-jerk, angry reactions. Ego is like animalistic reactions. That's how I kind of look at ego anymore. Ego, like an animal, it's not reasoning with itself. It just, something bites me, I'm going to bite you. It's just, we have these knee-jerk reactions, but picture what these we're controlled by internal conditioning. And I want to change this quote to say, he says he's being polite. We're sometimes held hostage by our cravings, aversions, and ignorance. I want to say when we're asleep, we're hostage. We're not questioning squat. We're hostage to our mind. I mean, we believe it. Picture back, right? We believe these thoughts, but they're cravings. Now, what is a craving? A craving is I want something, desires, cravings, clinging to things. I want it. I want it. Aversions are I don't want it. Push it away. Get it the hell out of here. And ignorance. Ignorance is not knowing how your mind works, how the ego mind works, and how your God mind works, which is it's this reflective radiance, this clear light that's forever spontaneously creating forms and animating them with light. That's what it's doing. But we judge the forms. Now, granted, sometimes these forms take different thoughts, but whatever. But anyway, so stop and ask yourself sometimes, what am I doing that's not working? Now, see, that's when you start to question the habit, the addiction. What am I doing that's not working? Now, what's happened to most of you, or you wouldn't be here, somewhere along the way, you had some kind of suffering or something. You thought, well, there has to be a better way than this. And that's when you turned and found A Course in Miracles, or you found Dzogchen or Zen or something. Well, I'm wanting you to refine it further on down into minutia. You're awakening moment to moment during the day. That's how and I set my iPhone watch. Oh, and it's on my phone, my cell phone. Every 15 minutes, an alert comes up from A Course in Miracles. And I stop and think about, what am I thinking about? Am I awake? I actually ask myself now, am I awake? And then you can look at the end of the day and look back on your day. This is the right use of judgment. How long was I awake today? How often was I awake today? Or was I sleepwalking the whole day, just doing whatever the habits were? I mean, it's huge. If you really want to awaken, you're stopping to ask these questions. And to admit yourself and recognize that humanity is craving love, but it doesn't know how to love truly. So it craves for mortal love. And that's called special relationships in A Course in Miracles. And Jesus says that's when we want to convert them to holy relationships. And what that means is we think of our loved ones as spirit as often as we can. We, with their spirit animating that form, they're God, Okay. All right. Let's see. That's page 2. Let's see what else I missed here. You guys are sure tolerant. You got this. Oh, yep. Oh, so what culminated? I have talked about this. This happened on November 18th. But prior to this, when I was in Missouri, when my sister passed, remember I was out walking and I was looking at everything, and before I knew it, everything was in God's mind. The trees, the parking lot, I was in God's mind. Well, see, what happens is that was a revelation or an insight, whatever you want to call it. But it needs to stabilize. Well, I don't. What? Okay, how does that happen? Well, you just keep practicing whatever truths you're practicing, and the main thing is, for me, with Dzogchen, it's called Treched, where you cut through the form to see the clear light of spirit that's there. In A Course in Miracles, Jesus calls it advanced forgiveness, where you either see the flesh or spirit, where you're looking beyond the body to the clear light of spirit that's there. They're both similar. They're both trying to get you to do the same thing. See this clear light of spirit. So for me to stabilize that everything's in God's mind, it still was two-ness. I would look at the form and go, oh yeah, that's spirit. And then I see the clear light. I think of them as spirit. And I think of them as spirit. Then I see that they're spirit, they're clear light. But then I look out and see the big clear light, the vast clear light, like the sky, vastness that's here. That's still two-ness. I still had form, the bodies, and the vast clear light separate, right? I was doing two things, but you're doing two things maybe for years, because it's going to generalize and stabilize where they join. And that's what happened on the 18th. I'd be watching TV, and I talked to you all about this. I'm watching TV and I'm calling out all the politicians or the actors, their spirit. I cut through their form. I see their spirit. Then I stop and see this clear light in my living room, just vast clear light. Well, on the 18th, when I looked out, it was like wham, everything was in the clear light. So I'm walking to my washing machine. I'm in the body's in the clear light. My washing machine is in God's mind. I'm hanging the clothes up. I'm doing it in God mind. It is stabilizing to where there's not two-ness. In Dzogchen, it's called basically the integration of the relative with the absolute. And the relative means forms. In A Course in Miracles, it would be images, forms, with the clear light that Jesus talks about. Now, Dzogchen doesn't that often talk about clear light, talks about spirit, but light. The Dalai Lama calls it clear light. A Course in Miracles calls it clear light. So they're not separate. They're not separate. So within heaven or nirvana is samsara, because in samsara or hell are all these forms that are asleep, right? But they're asleep when you're not asleep, because you're awakening to that they're light, God light animating their form. And you're visualizing there's just light radiating out of every cell of them. They're just a ball of light. And you're a ball of light, because it's true. It's so true. But anyway, prior to when that happened when I'm out walking and I'm practicing that, what I talk about to you. I look at a tree and I go, oh, that tree spirit. And then I see the clear light everywhere. Other times I see that ego is focusing in on an item. And that's what ego does. It focuses on an item, then it starts labeling it and judging it. Fat or thin, smart or dumb, happy, sad, all that crap. That's what ego does. See, you're leaning back to the big mind, the big God mind, who takes in the big picture, the big generalization, and sees it's looking at the big light, the big God light that has all these forms within it. There's no separation. All the forms are walking around in God's mind. They're not laying on top of the light. They're within the light. Because they're within God mind. There's only the big God mind. And it's made or created all these forms that are floating around, and they're flowing back and forth on the movement of the great ray light, or the cord of light, the Hindus call it. It's way cool. That's why on those 3 vital points that Dzogchen talks about, view, meditation, and action, the last one says flowing as it goes. And the second one, meditation, says let things come and go as is. Let it be. Because then you're not clinging to it, attachment, or pushing it away, aversion. You're letting it come and go, and you're aware when you're grabbing onto it. So now, before I forget, happy Thanksgiving. Every day's a day of Thanksgiving. We're breathing, we're alive. We can enjoy each other. Come here via Zoom. Don't you love it? Oh man, life is great. Oh, and by the way, finally, it came to me, Holy Spirit, they finally all unveiled what's happening. I'm selling my house here locally. I called the real estate agent. She's coming out either tomorrow or Friday to set all this in motion. And I'm buying a condo here locally. I won't be moving out of state or somewhere else. I'm buying a condo. So in essence, I'm downsizing. And when I'm doing this, see, all this is part of the synchronicity. All this opening and loving and letting be, listening to spirit, and knowing enough that I don't know what I'm doing. I'm still open. Holy Spirit, guide me what to do or say. And so, see, one of the things I knew needed to be done to sell all this, my exterior is steel reinforced concrete and gets sealed with paint, elastomeric paint. A couple months ago, hired a crew and they repainted everything. It's all beautiful. The porches are stained. Then in my house, there's a last room, a storeroom where I have business records that my husband had a business over 35 years, and you got to keep records for 7 years after you close the business. So there's 2 file cabinets, 5 racks of boxes of actual files, blah, blah, blah. Well, my handyman called me and said, here's the deal. I've been putting off cleaning that room. Talk about repressing or denial. But Roy called me and he goes, oh, you, in essence, you want any work to do? And I'm thinking, well, yes, Roy, there is. I need some help. And so I hired him. He came. And meantime, before he came, I had to think about how, with a hand truck, we get all the boxes off the rack units. I first have to move my garage to make some space, move the racks, move the boxes, move the file cabinets, throw some stuff away, cleaning. See, that's the mind. We're cleaning our mind out of crap, obscurations, self-concepts, judgments, labeling. And that's how I picture when I was cleaning that storeroom. Oh man, I'm throwing away some more of that damn ego thoughts that I believed in, and then I'm, caulking, filling, working with Roy. And now I'm just continuing to sort, see what'll happen to move. Then I got to go through everything, right? Because I'm going to downsize to a condo. So it's more cleaning and sorting inside and outside to simplify my life. I'm opening up to this simplification where I have less work. See here, where I've got a big yard, I'm always working out there, stuff you got to do, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, folks, I want to give you an update. So we'll get to see how all this unfolds. Holy Spirit, guide me what to do or say and stay open. Now, before I stop here, anybody got thoughts or comments you want to share? We're still recording. So, okay, Miss Barbie, unmute, honey.
Yeah, you said something about those 3 vital points. I know what they are, but what are they? From who? What do we do with them?
Oh, yeah. Well, what you do with them is if you write them down, you sit and contemplate and think about them. And they're in my email, but it's worth me rediscussing. The whole course is doing the same thing. Jesus is getting you to see things as it is. That first one's called the view or outlook, and it's seeing it, IT, as it is. And that means seeing this world, how it works. And that world works because it's how your mind is working. Seeing it as it is the view. The meditation is letting go. Now, what that means is, see, I have to sit with this. You get it deeper and deeper the more you sit with it. Let go means let the hell go. Letting it, there's the word it again, IT. What is it? It means these egoic thoughts and forms and images, dream images. Let it come and go. Letting be, leaving it as is. That's called wisdom of allowing. Leaving it, meaning all these forms and images, thoughts and feelings as is. But doesn't mean you're not going to sit with your feelings and open to them, but you're not manipulating them. You're opening to it. And the last one's called the action or conduct. How are we going to act in the world? Well, an awakened Christ or an awakened Buddha embodies the 6 senses on a heightened level. There is no longer knee-jerk reacting to anything he tastes. Oh, I want more of that. Hearing, oh, I got to have that. Or smelling, man, I want that. Or sight, oh, there's a loved one I'm going to, go talk to and give mortal love to. You're still going to have a person. You can still have mortal love with your spouse or loved one, but you're looking at it as, I want to do unconditional love. I want to think about love unconditionally. But anyway, the action or conduct is enjoying and appreciating. Here's the word it all. Enjoying and appreciating it all. See, I used to think because ego's the body and all this, the earth's not real, it's not here. Of course, that's true. It's a dream image. I couldn't even appreciate it. Like, what the hell? Get away from me. I'm just in my mind thinking about, no. See, all this stuff is animated by God light. And there are brothers. Our brothers and sisters are these images. The bugs, we're all one in spirit. So, but we can enjoy and appreciate it all, flowing as it goes. Flowing as it goes, because it's going to flow. But see, in the mortal world, we want to grab onto our loved ones, make them permanent, make this love permanent. We don't want it going away, and then we just fall apart when it breaks. No, flowing as it goes. We still can grieve when a loved one passes and companionship doesn't work out. People go their separate ways. It's how your karma is based on how you then act, based on these things that flow in front of your face. Remember, I say to you, as often as you can, what is your purpose in life? Whatever shows up in front of your face, think of it as spirit, as God, as Christ, Buddha, love. And And then the result, natural great completion. Natural great completion. Now, what's so natural about this? Everything's natural. Natural body, natural heart, mind, natural breath and energy. When you embody Christ and Buddha, that light and love, that clear love light, it's love light is one word, light soaked with love, is animating out of every pore, every cell, every organ. It's complete, whole, W-H-O-L-E, pure, innocent, loving God. That's the result. So what you're doing, you're retraining, untraining the mind for the conditioned internal control. We've allowed ourselves to be hostage to ego, to the cravings, the aversions, and the ignorance of ego. And you're waking up. Oh, the result is natural great completion, as is, just as it is. There's that word it again. Because really, God, what can you call God? Essence, presence with a capital P, capital E, isness, clear light. But we're wanting to get to where you feel it. You feel love. And anytime you visualize, you're just laying there in your bed like sunlight, letting sunlight soak through you where you feel the warmth in your heart. And imagine that's this God love, your natural Christ, unconditional love. And just visualize seeing your heart open. The bud opens to the light. Your heart opens. It's no longer closed. No longer closed to love. To loving your brothers and sisters and giving loving kindness. I mean, that whole thing I just read there, it's the whole Course of Miracles. Oh, man.
Thank you for the explanation.
Oh, you're so welcome, honey. I'm still getting it. I'm still sitting with it. I repeat that to me. It's on a piece of paper, laying in bed, by my chair, walking, along with my other quotes, asking Holy Spirit, help me, get this deeper, deeper. I open to the truth. And help and I sit in my chair going, help me understand all this so I can explain it better to my brother and sisters, right? That's what I'm trying to do. Any other questions before I hang up here? I hope I did justice to all this, Holy Spirit. I mean, really. Okay, sweeties. Thank you. Before we go, take each tile on the screen and we practice Jesus's advanced forgiveness. We either are saying, God to each tile, or Buddha, or Christ, or Spirit, or you are Spirit, whole, pure, and innocent, all is forgiven and released, to each tile on the screen. We love you too, Debbie Thomas is saying. Albert, Gabby, Julia, Leon, Vince, and all your loved ones. I wish you a beautiful Thanksgiving. And I saw some cartoon that said, if you think you're enlightened, then go have dinner with your family. Thanksgiving dinner with your family. Then you can practice, folks. You're practicing, silently practicing before you get there. If you got any obstacles, you're breathing in and out, asking Holy Spirit, soften and let me come back to my breath. When you feel a little contracted, tense, just come back to your breath. Nobody knows you're just breathing in and out silently. And you can silently say, because see, that's relief. You give yourself relief. Breathing in and out, and then you're talking to them quietly, your spirit, your light. You're saying loving things to them, and then bringing in your prayers, the whole globe, the earth, restore the earth, all the war zones, peace, peace, peace. Let us all live together in peace, besides our individual families, communities, states, nations, the globe, the universes, etc. Thank you for coming out tonight. If there's no other thoughts, I'm going to stop the recording and we can visit.